Hey everybody, Emerald Gamer here with another Gamer Speak on Soulcalibur 6. The news was yesterday, but you know what? We're gonna pretend like it's today, and we're gonna pretend like we're doing things on time today, and we're not fucking around. We're not doing any of these things. We're not busy. Our life's not busy, so we're just gonna pretend like the news was today. The Nintendo Direct is later on tonight, and I'm excited. There's all kinds of excitement going on. But anyway, let's move on. I want to get right into this because Cervantes is finally here. The shell of a proud man. That is the saddest title I think we'll ever see out of all these. It's not even like a descriptor of his personality. Well, I guess it is, but literally. But it's like most of them are like, this is what they are as a person, like as a fighter. No, this is just a fucking. This dude's just a has-been. But anyways, Cervantes, he's always been a mainstay in just the Soulcalibur franchise. That's another one of those characters that I'm like, if I think of Soulcalibur, Cervantes is like one of the main people I think of. Mostly because he's one of the characters that came in contact with Soul Edge, or has like a piece of it basically within him in a sense. So thus making him immortal, which means that they can reuse him as much as they want, and it kind of just makes him one of those characters that will stay forever no matter what, just because literally, I don't know. And Soulcalibur 5, he was cured somehow. That happened, I guess. So, but that's not this game. This is the one before 3, technically, which is the 6th game. Yeah, it makes sense. But anyway, just looking at this is probably my most favorite design of Cervantes ever. He's back to being Purple Skin Boy, which is a problem, but it's not nearly as bad or present as it is in the previous games. They have him highlighted with these this evil molten essence, almost like an evil Ryu sort of thing going on there. And he's kind of got like that cocky little smirk, like, yeah, I'm a pirate. So I mean, there's that kind of shit. I don't know what the fuck that was, but there's that kind of shit going on. And then they do his intro, yada yada. Same old, same old. All these trailers are the same. The format's the same. It's not that they're wrong, it's just that they're all the same. The format's always the same. It was refreshing a few times, but now they've gone exactly back to the formula of every 2 weeks character, every 2 weeks character. And they're kind of running out of time. If I'm doing my math right, if they keep doing it like this, they're really only going to have time for about 2 more reveals, possibly, and that's not even a guarantee. So, depending on what they do on the release week of the game. So, we'll just have to wait and see what happens, but I doubt that they're going to reveal all the information on the game, which is good, because I don't want that. So, I want to have at least some mystery going into the game, which nowadays sounds like a bad thing, but I mean, it kind of feels a lot better to discover things on your own in a game rather than the developer just pushing everything out on you before the game even comes out. That way there's no mystery to the gameplay element. It's just all there. But anyway, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or anything. Cervantes, other than Siegfried, has always been my favorite character. Those two have always been my favorite characters. That and Raphael, kind of. But I always sucked with Raphael, but that's for another time. When he's revealed, wink wink. But, so basically, his combos have always been, he has like this dual-bladed, or he dual wields like these 2 short, I guess they're technically short swords. And one of them has like an odd handle on it. Yeah, that shit's a piece. That shit's a gun. That's the Glock. He's the Glock character, but he never fucking uses it, like almost ever. Like that just seems to be his thing, is that he has this gun sword, but he never ever uses it. He has like one, maybe like 2 or 3 moves that he has had previously, other than his super in 5, that had to do with the gun, like actually shooting. But they just overhauled him entirely. They kept some of his older combos, like the first one that he does. He like goes for like a swan dive slash, and just kind of slides with the model, like with the other model, like to a portion of the screen, and then just fucking rapid fire, just like does like a shit ton of stabs. and then just like fling it. Originally, he flings you up with his swords, and that's like the end of the combo because it's like a flop. And then they like, but now they bounce, or they bounce more than they did previously. So they bounce, and then it does like a cinematic cutscene, and then he shoots with the gun. That was already the first sign that like, oh shit, the captain's in. It's fucking time to play this character. This is honestly gonna be like probably my, well, depending on how the competitive scene goes. Anyway, this is probably going to be like my secondary choice, or maybe even like just like the side character that I actually just go to start with in tournaments. I don't know, but I'm already thinking ahead. I need to stop with this shit. Okay. Anyway, moving on. But then they have a little bit more, and it's like literally all of his combos are like the same as the old combos, just Cervantes doing Cervantes things, but with more of the gun in it. And not that that's really a bonus for me. Well, it is technically, but it's just the principle that they finally realized how much they could do with it. And if you watch the trailer, it's really hard to capture the gunshots. Obviously, I got one really good right there, but that was probably the only good one I got. He has an most of those attacks from the bullets are undodgeable, and I'm going to assume they're going to keep that aspect of it, because they don't really do that much damage in a sense. They usually do about as much as like a heavy attack at the very most. But some of these other combos are like he's just like flinging you up, and then because the second combo I remember him like he flings you up and then slams you down on the ground. You bounce, and then he does like a couple of hits to keep your airborne up, and then he just stabs you with the sword and just like just lays into you. You just go like flying a little ways and then just fucking land on the ground like a fucking corpse. This character is just perfection in every shape, way, and form. And right now, anyway, is from what I can see, like just like Astaroth, he is like 100% the character he always needed to be now. And they're finally doing that with like Cervantes, because like Valdo, when he was out, Valdo was very standard. And Taki was very standard, and like Keelik and Xianghua, all those characters that are like super base roster were like the same character, except for Keelik in another way, obviously. But I mean, it's just so refreshing to see Cervantes use one of the main points of the character, which is the gun and the sword, and that was the draw. Not that he was dual wielding, but because he had the gun and the sword. But anyway, he goes for the next combo. He goes for an armor break sort of thing. Like he does like a heavy attack that does like an armor break, once again bouncing him up. And there's just a lot of gunshots and firing and a lot of uppercuts, because he's a very aerial character as well. He flies technically, which is kind of strange, but I mean whatever. He's like a fucking spooky purple man, so what the hell can you expect, really? But his second combo is actually pretty interesting. He like flies up, and then he basically like uppercuts you in the air, and then he just like sort of lands like behind you, like in a very cinematic shot, and you just kind of fall to the ground. Really neat. There's the clash. The clashes have been like really oddly timed within the trailer now, I feel like, because they always put it in the same spot. But the first couple of like newer trailers that they did with the clashes, it seemed like an actual like section of it. But for some reason, it's just like the clashes go from like, they just like snap right into it. They don't do like the preview stuff or the pre-clash stuff where they sit there and fight for a couple of seconds and then go in, mostly because I guess they just think that's not really necessary. But I mean, it looks nice nonetheless. Mitsurugi and Cervantes kind of going at it there. Kind of wish it was Ivy, because that's kind of like his rival character in a sense. But the clash was really nice. It was mostly just like a big gunshot, really. Like there wasn't like too much to it. It was like it was basically the equivalent of what his I think what his super was technically in Soul Calibur 5. So that's a nice touch, but I could be horribly wrong on that. I'm not entirely sure. And then we had the super combo, which had like a weird... I guess they showed it off to show people what it could do, unless that's just actually part of the combo, I don't know. But he has like this M. Bison twirl that he does, the Psycho Booster twirl. And he kind of like does it like in a side dash motion, and then he comes forward towards Keelik in that. And then like he just fucking plants him into the ground. And then he shoots a lot. He shoots a lot more, which is just, oh, thank God he shoots. That's basically what this trailer is. It's just like, oh, is he gonna use it? Oh, he uses it. Alright, cool, moving on. But yeah, but he shoots him in the air and then like stabs him into the ground and like kind of pins him. It's really cool. And then we have the super, which I don't remember what he said. I can't remember, but I think it was like "wanna see hell" or some bullshit like that. But I don't know, it made me laugh. Go watch the trailer, by the way, after this, because it definitely is one of those character trailers that I'd be like, this is what you should be hyped for in Soul Calibur. Not like, for example, like the Tira one was it was okay, but like it went pretty well. But there were certain character trailers that I was like, oh goody, it's this character, like Zaslamil. Zaslamil's fucking trailer was so boring. Like there is like almost nothing to it. Now that I think about it, it was kind of boring. But anyway, he for the super, he just straight up fucking flies at you with a Captain Falcon knee at Mach fucking 5. At first I thought it was a slash, but it's definitely like a knee that he like kind of like just shoves into your chest. You kind of go like you reel back a little bit, like still in the position, and he just fucking Spartan kicks your ass like to a distance and like staggers you. And then he walks up towards you like menacingly and just fucking gives you the 2-shot, just gives you the fucking the 1-2, and then he slashes you up in the air, and it shows like the down, like the perspective from Siegfried down, as it just sort of like, well, not his perspective, but like the perspective of character getting hit down, and then it just, he like fucking Dragon Ball Z teleports to the other side, just fucking holds his fucking fingers up to his forehead, instant transmissions up to fucking above him, and just does a fucking M. Bison Psycho Crusher down on the ground in a twisty spiral, fucking Siegfried's legs pulling up like he's getting it, and then it's just like a big fucking just like wave of just everything. It wasn't necessarily an explosion, but the super was more interesting than most of them, in a sense. Like it was a little bit more creatively done, so I'll take that. It was kind of like Astaroth's mixed with his Cervantes' own little thing. So that's pretty cool. And then he does his outro, and then that's the end of the trailer. Was kind of hoping for a little bit more. I don't know. Lately, ever since we got hit with the yeet on the second trailer, like with Astaroth and Sungmina and all that, I was kind of hoping that they would have been like, oh, here's another character, because to be fair, there's about, I think, at this point, there's about 3 more characters that need to be filled on the roster, unless I could be counting wrong. Unless Mr. Chinese Man, who I'm forgetting his name right now for some reason, sounds like, oh, Aswell, yes. Aswell, unless they're counting him on a slot immediately on the roster, which I don't think they would. I feel like it would just be like an unlockable, right? Like something that just shows up. At least that's what it feels like. Because there's a lot of, obviously it wasn't final, but there was a lot of spots on that roster, like character selection screen, where they would be able to fill in little circle portraits like they did in like, not that they were circles, but that they did in like Melee and stuff. So I feel like it's definitely possible, but that was literally it on the trailer. And it is over. It's been a day. I'm late already as it is, and I don't really have much to talk about other than, hey, I'm excited. Hey, go get this game. Hashtag not an ad, but could be an ad. But thank you all for watching, nonetheless. I have been Emerald Gamer, and this has been yet another Gamer Speak on Soul Calibur 6. Hashtag get hyped for Cervantes. Alright, I will see you all later. Goodbye now. I'm really bad at doing outros for some reason today. Alright, ending video.